All right. Just usually I give them Gail a couple minutes. Here's Maureen. Hello, Miss Mo. Okay. I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mo?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How you doing, my friend?
Good. Tired.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's a roller coaster of emotions along with scheduling and everything else that we have to deal with.
Yes. And
All
now,
the parts you
we
don't
leave
take into
tomorrow
account.
morning for New York. So
It's been a long roller coaster for you too for a few years.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But well, that's why I felt that this topic was so important for us because your emotions right now, your trauma is more immediate in the time it's right now in place.
Mhm.
Um, we as a society, we as women, we carry tons of emotions, tons of traumas, unsettled, issues and things all settle. So as we go back into, past, recordings and different things that we went over, past habits and topics, we understand that there are the 7 layers of tissues and the body organs, and everything works in junction with each other. Like everything has a play along with the next system. And the um, the seven the 7 layers of the body um, have to, of course, the nutrition and all, as we learn, makes its way through, but so do emotions, so do hormones, so do all of these past memories. This gets locked in our system, and not only does it get locked in our system, sometimes it's carried forward as we believe now. And actually, scientists are finally coming up in agreement with Ayurvedic science that we bring forward generations of emotions, generations of hormonal imbalances or trauma or just unsettledness, along with good things, along with lots of like happiness. And, the endocrine system is just filled with all of these like neurons and our pathways, our serotas and things are that which carries them. But if you go into the organs of the body, the skin is the largest organ of the body, which we
Mhm.
know. And the skin has the ability to actually hold on to or release everything into the blood system. So it either is carrying blood, nutrition, our plasma. It's also carrying our traumas, our emotions. The entire endocrine system comes in and out, release and exchange through our skin into the bloodstream. So emotions and hormones, not just our female, as I said in the other video the other day, all of the entire endocrine system is back and forth within and is released or stored or actually buried into the system until we release it. So we can release it through different types of therapy, like you can physically connect the mind and the body, but the most important thing we can do for our body is this self massage. So if we're going
Mhm.
through anything from a recent trauma, a recent um, you could have a really bad experience or a traumatic thing happen in the workplace or within your family, or even physically within your body. You can have women who lose, babies and things. That's a huge store and release of hormones, and they get locked in the body. And one of the most beautiful things that you can do, which Ayurveda believes, and holistic medicine, all of Eastern medicine believes in self massage, and not just going to a massage therapist, to release a sore shoulder or a lower back pain, or just to feel good and, some kind of a regenerative restore once a month. The body and its ability to go through this self massage that we are so highly, attuned to trying to fit in every day in our morning routine, evening routine. It's not just that. that which we do like in the morning to kind of jumpstart us. You know how we get our lymphatic system moving, we get that drainage from the evening before, how
Yeah.
this is like the morning practice. Well, when we do it to release toxins or emotions, women who have like ovarian cysts, that's stagnant energy stuck in the body. And you'll find that more in like a kapha. You know, the kapha has that slower metabolism. Pretty much a vata would not have an ovarian cyst because it's movement. There's movement in the body. But we want to do an oil massage specifically and really intentionally when we're dealing with any kind of overdue stress, like really over exaggerated stress on the body, whether it's work related, the loss of a loved one, trauma, just losing a partner. You know, you could go through a bad breakup, but especially the loss of a family member, that's genetic. That's also ancestral. Like that goes back to generations and generations of people either if you're very, very high pitta, your process, it's what the different agnis. Remember the different agnis in the body, with that which digests. So our agni is our strong digestive system. But remember, we have to digest everything, all of the senses, the five senses. Sadaka pitta is the discernment. It's the actual, um, it, it's the agni. It's that digestive fire to release incidents, emotions, things that happen immediately. So a pitta, if they have a very strong emotional balance, they'll be able to take in this trauma, this emotional something hormone stuff, and they'll discern it. They'll deceive, like they'll figure it out right away, and then they release it. But most of the time, on a really, really strong, like the loss of a family member, the loss of, people, women who lose, children, or especially like real traumatic things in the body, a car accident physically to your body, the body stores it. And the way to release it, to really release it, is to go into deep tissue massage. You know how when you're in a sports training, so we've all had some kind of a sports training before, or you've gone through some kind of um, you know, a trainer of some sort, and they recommend that you go into a pose that hurt before, or some kind of a weightlifting, because you have muscle memory. It's absolutely true. It's not only true though for athletics. The muscle is holding on to generations back, hundreds of years, as your ancestors, because remember, our genetic code is made up from genetics prior to us. So we are their genetic coding. How does our family, how do our genetics, were we a family that released emotions, like some, ethnic backgrounds celebrate death, celebrate even the death of a newborn or something, or because it was meant to be because of the gods or heavens or something. They release that. We are taught to really grieve and really hold in. And if it's coming from generation to generation, that holding, we're born with that, and it's muscle memory. The muscle is holding it physically. It's scientifically proven. Our muscles are holding onto everywhere in the endocrine system all of these hormones and these emotions. And the easiest way to release them is physically move them through the body. It's brilliant, but we're not taught it. As I say all the time, all of these practices become so beautifully easy because we're being taught them. If we're not being taught them, we don't know of them. So
Mhm.
as you take, so we're going to go through a couple oils, which we did, I think, in the detox. And Maureen, if you were on the call in the beginning with Maria,
Yep.
we will go into, there's a few different oils that are recommended per each dosha. And then there's some essential oils that really help and really complement them. But in the movement of the massage, so you want to really pull the skin. So now science is caught up to, and they're aware of that fascia, that layer of connection, that underneath layer, that sheath that connects all. You want to move that in your body. So if there's no major trauma going on at the time, your daily massage is going to move everything, the toxins from the night before. or the day of, and maybe you do it at nighttime for relaxing. So there's all different ways we can approach this, but you really, really want to release these emotions and like ancestral healing. So say you're from a family and you know that your past grieving or your family has been hit with many incidents or things that were maybe brushed under the table, like you don't talk about it. That's really, really bad for us. And it creates inner disease. People who have really bad liver diseases and kidney diseases, that's where we hold like huge emotions in our kidneys and our liver cancers. Women, we have high incidence of thyroid issues. It's from holding. So if you take nothing else from this course, we're going to learn how to release, we're going to learn how to process and get toxins on a daily basis out of the body. Or when we need a little bit more help, we're going to really release, like, or say you really need, at this time right now, you're going through very stressful situations in your family or in your body or in something, and you need physical support. You don't want any stagnation in that body. You want cleansing and mobility, and you want things to move and function. Ashley, what you're dealing and doing with right now, you want to keep that so healthy and moving. You want this system to go, and you don't want anything stuck. So anything even past will be locked in all of our muscle tissue. It'll be locked under the skin and in, and that release you'll feel. Some people have lower back pain for a long, long time, or tight hips or tight shoulders and things. That's the body telling you it's holding on to something. It should be, released. It should be supple. It should be, easeful movement. And when you notice something's not, it it needs to be released. And we are really, really lucky that we are, able to understand what a self massage can do. And it's kind of, people are saying, oh, self massage, you know, that's for wackies or people you're not supposed to touch yourself or do. It's just the opposite. If you can get in the habit of beginning to touch your skin, feel what it feels like, understand that the more you put oil on, the better it's going to feel, and you'll start to notice a difference in the suppleness of your skin, and it holds on to moisture. Especially us Vatas will have very dry skin, but the more you oil, the more you're moving toxins out of your body, the skin lubricates and loosens up. And it brings vigor to life. Like, it brings enthusiasm. It moves out stagnation in the body. It encourages weight loss if
I was
needed.
going to say,
Don't do it,
I
ladies.
am not massaging myself anymore.
End of story right now.
Thanks, Deb.
Sorry. Okay. So, but it relaxes. It actually moves. It starts to get the body into this ability to move the system, and then the body starts getting into that circadian rhythm because there's no stagnation. It wakes up easier. It goes to sleep easier. So it's all connected with moving. Remember, the serotas are those channels, those major channels in the body. We want to keep them moving. We want to keep everything firing in the direction. And it all also goes back to that Agni, that fire in our digestive system. If we digest everything properly and we have that strong stomach digestion, it's going to deliver those nutrients, those minerals. It's going to absorb and assimilate and transform into each new layer of tissue. So as we're moving it through, we're giving it that jump start too. We're going to help move it through the system in this beautiful, like, orchestrated manner. So it's hard fitting it in at first because you're like, okay, I'm timed in the morning, or I'm just not used to doing it. Maybe try it once or twice a week. Maybe you're better doing it at night. It doesn't matter. But if you're dealing with something like in an immediate, like you are, Maureen, right now, and it's been going on, it isn't just the death of your mom that's so recent. And again, I'm so sorry, and hopefully been along the journey with you. It's all these years built up to that, Mo. I've known you a long time.
I know.
There's lots coming into this, many,
Yes,
many
and
years.
you know the lots,
And I know the lots, and that's why this call is really important, because that's stuck, that's locked in you.
Yep.
And the more you address it and open up to yourself somewhere, like if you just, you can sit somewhere, you can talk with someone, you can talk with nature. You physically can go sit by a tree, and I'm not being like, you really can. Remember, the energy within a tree is amazing. The roots go into the ground, into the earth, ground us, but the roots touch other roots of other plants and other trees. They're communicating. You can go sit and talk to yourself under a tree, and the amount of release you'll get, go back into past memories, let them go. Like it's okay, because you you don't want to now pass that on. Like, now once you release it, Megan, ancestral and within her cells, will feel the release. I have
Working on
disconnected.
it.
I have disconnected things now that my daughters have released.
Megan
And
actually just laughed because we're together, and I'm like, I'm working on that. She's like, please.
I love you, Meg. So it's this
Oh.
beautiful way that the physiology of the body knows how to do it if we assist it. So Ash, do you have any comments or anything? Can you share? Hello, lady.
You're on mute, honey.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't really have anything to share. I'm actually just really absorbing this. I love the idea of, letting go of some of these things so that we don't continue passing them forward. And then so many things I can think back that, were like my mom's issue, my grandma's issue, and keep going back and
Yes.
back. Who knows how long those have been there. So
Yes.
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's just really, I'm just kind of soaking it all in. I don't even have any questions. It's just a really fascinating thing to think about.
Yes. And you
I'm
said
going to ask a dumb question
no questions are dumb.
if
Remember
I
that.
can. And I don't come on video because every now and then I just tear up. So you just have to forgive me.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay. So I've been doing, of course, the dry brushing and the massaging big time. And sometimes I will be relaxed and sometimes I get angry.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
mean, Deb, like I want to yell
Okay.
angry.
That's perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I'm going nuts.
No, now I know you and I know your history.
Okay.
You're going to make me cry. Actually, you're letting go. Your
Oh my
body.
God, I hope so.
It is. Your body is letting it go. This is exactly what I'm talking about and exactly what we need to do. That anger's been there a long time. I mean, I've known you in 150 years, and we all have it. We all have it for something. And as some people, like I've cried before in a massage out of nowhere. Like I wake up, I do my thing. If you're getting angry, the body is saying thank you. So the only way to get it out is to get that emotion out, and you will feel the emotion. The emotion will release. You just gave yourself the greatest gift that day. Let the emotion process, let your body feel it. The toxin is moving out. And this is exactly what we're being taught. That's why it's important to move the skin, move the body. Any stagnation, you don't want that anger staying in.
No.
Your thyroid, your liver, like you could have issues later on. So the skin, if we're having skin issues, anyone having any kind of major breakouts and things in the system, in the skin that's visible, as we know, that's more of a vata pitta, depending on and how bad it is. It's gotten so bad that it's been stored in the body and now it needs to come out. But say your circulatory system is not functioning that well right now. It's
Mhm.
going to stay stagnant in a very prominent rash, say, of some sort. And as you do the massage faithfully, like say that's your thing and this is going to benefit you, I would encourage you to do the massage more. I've had blocked issues in my lower hips and back for a long time, like for years past. And when I figured out going through my school that it was me holding on to old things, as soon as I released them, I was like, I can move my back again. Like it almost, it doesn't disappear overnight, but it slowly it just leaves the body, because you're giving it a channel. You're creating a path that Sarota, whichever one is going to that area, is releasing. It's letting go. You want it back into the system so that the detoxification system can remove it from the body. It can come through emotional release, which is what you had. It can come through sweat. If it's a physical toxin, it can come through, either your feces or your urine or your blood. You can actually have some kind of like a blood letting or bleeding or some kind of a tissue release. These are all signs that the body's been holding on to something and now it's processing it. So
Okay.
sometimes don't get nervous if if everything looked fine and then you're doing this massage faithfully and all of a sudden you've got a rash somewhere on your body. If there's some heat in the rash, that's a deep-seated pitta. That could be aggravation, something that, and the body said, thank you, I can finally come out. You don't want the stagnation.
Oh,
The stagnation is going to hold on to that and create a deep level disease. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We want
it.
clear passages. And that's why in Ayurveda, knowing your dosha, so say at that time you remembered, Maureen, okay, this was a anger, or if the body got hot, maybe your next massage, you go to a cooling oil and a cooling essential oil. Maybe you want to cool the body down a little. Or if you feel like the heat really worked for you, then keep with your oil and heat it up, let it go. So you kind of become intuitive. What is your body asking? What is the release? And as you emotionally have the capacity to connect to something, you can even process it faster, because sometimes we're afraid of our emotions. We're afraid of our hormones. If we realize that we have an actual hormonal imbalance, like we as women are intuitive, we can feel it.
Mhm.
We've had certain things like if we have ever been taught to pay attention to our period or the moon cycle, we know when things are going on in our body. A lot of people, a lot of men, because they're supposed to carry on and go strong, which, coming through, decades now of a pitta society, we were pushing down way too many of those emotions that women need to get in release, because we are hormonal and we actually need to have certain organs and things working to get pregnant, to have babies, to carry babies, to have easy pregnancies, or to do whatever it is. The body needs to have that softness, and we've come through a very, very pitta environment, crazy pitta, through probably before us, Maureen, in school, like when that real, like actually, since they say it really began at the war, when women went into the factories because the men weren't here. They took on a whole nother role in life that they had never had before as a general populace. And they began to really enjoy the attention and enjoy the workforce outside of the home. And then after that, you're no longer needed. Men are home. The men were back in. So we repressed
Right.
all of that freedom and that different, but then it became this in-seated anger of kind of that workforce pitta. I can do it. I can do it. I can do more. I can add more. And then, from there, it became women in the workforce and more and more. And for equality, it was a beautiful thing, but we weren't taught how to process it all, because in other, different countries, in Asian countries and things, they're taught how to mind, body, spirit balance on a daily basis, so they can handle things more, where we aren't really taught that unless we come up from a very religious background. But then again, women, even in those backgrounds, were told to be quiet and just, do.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
So we're coming out of something now where we physically can handle all of this, if we keep our mind, body, and spirit in balance, if we keep it physically moving properly, and we keep all these channels moving, and we aid it and assist it intuitively, keeping in touch with, like, we know what's going on. So if we can pay attention to what the body needs, as we've spoken in different calls, it could be for a couple weeks, every day is different. Like, you're on this roll of like, I need to ground, or I need to wake up, or I need to, and then all of a sudden a roller coaster's hitting and you're like, all right, what am I feeling today? What's going to hit me from the side? Or, I need to calm down, or, okay, I can't get out of bed today. Like, you go through seasons where all of a sudden it's like this. That's where the massage comes into. It's grounding. It's moving on a very rhythmic kind of a tone. So as women, we need to really stay focused intuitively to what's going on in our body. What do we need the most right now? And
Yeah, I love that comment about things, is it's funny, like anything, I think we can get into habits. And you said something about that last week, or maybe it was on a video, I can't remember exactly, but you're like, well, if you need to wake up and you're feeling you might need loud music some morning. And it was really funny because I found this week I was just really laid back, like too laid back. Like I needed to motivate, I needed to get rolling, I needed to pump up. And I was kind of just way too chill. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want my morning to be stressful. And I'm like, no, wait, I don't have to just do that every day. Some days I really need a good kick in the butt. And I just
yes,
blasted some like killer house music, and I did a like a really hard workout, like, hit type of stuff that I haven't really done in a while. And then that's what I needed that day. And it was funny. I needed that reminder because, like, I find, me, I just tend to be with extremes. Like if I'm going in one path, that's where I'm going, and I have a hard time veering. And
yes.
so I'm like, no, no, I'm in Zen mode. But like, no, I need to be in like techno pump up go mode. And it was cool to hear that. So I love that.
It's too funny because I had to do the same thing this morning. It was hot. I went out into the hut. It's early. It's already steamy. And I had like my power pack day looked like this. My boss was on. So I was like, all right. So instead of like going through my playlist of yoga things, I was kind of like, oh, what to do? What do I? And then I just went to whole new, I was searched out like yoga music, urban goes. I was like, bing. I was literally doing my yoga, picked up my weights, was dancing, had the mirrors there. I'm laughing. I'm like, holy God, this is what I need. Like, kick my ass morning. That's what I need this morning. I was like dancing in my yoga hut this morning with weights in my hands, doing yoga practice. I'm like, if anybody could see me right now, this group would be like all into it. But so exactly, intuitively know what your body needs. And then, of course, we're going to move that into the massage. It is so important. It is not just, oh, I did a hard workout, my back hurts, I'm going to go get a massage, or week was really stressful, I need to. So I don't know how much like a massage therapist in our society doesn't really, talk to you and tell you kind of what they're going to do or do. But sometimes, like if you've ever been away on a retreat or something, I don't know if any of you have gone to any of these like yoga retreats and things. When you come in, they ask you a few questions and they kind of see where you are. And then they tell you what they recommend and what they're going to move. What they'll even say, you might cry, or you might get tense, or you might feel anger, because they know they're moving this stuff out of your body. They know you're going to have some kind of a release, and they're letting you know prior to it, especially after asking a few questions. So deep-seated emotions, deep-seated traumas, hormonal imbalances. So many of us women have all kinds of like, female issues going on. There's so many. I mean, I had cervical cancer, different things. That's all, there's different parts of the body that hold on to things. And the more tools we have in our toolbox to eliminate it, detoxify it, move it away, or bring it in. Like there's certain things we want to bring into the body, like these oils and these essential oils and things. So it's not all about getting out of the body. Sometimes it's bringing this love. So just because I said that word, um, in Ayurveda, self-massage, not connected to what we're talking to today with hormones and emotions and things. It's sneha, it's oils, but it's love. So daily massage is giving love to your body. It's bringing love by the touch of a hand. So as we said, the feeling of touch, how like if you have ever caught a new bird, that's fallen out, that touch, touching a newborn baby or an elderly person, like in a nursing home or something, you can just touch them, and you're connecting your love to them. So when we use our own hands to touch ourself, and some of us are very rigid with it, we weren't taught to love ourselves. We were taught to give love as women. Like women, we give love. We're caretakers. We're not taught to receive love. Like, you know, sisters, brothers, children, like they'll give us love, but do they really give us love? Like, I think we all have a feeling of the kind of love we want to feel. And if we don't express it, we usually don't get it back to us. We are the givers of it. So in Ayurveda, they believe that the touch of these oils is rubbing love into yourself. It's self-love. So sneha is that love and that self-love into the body. So sneha is one of the therapies. So I just always love that part of it. So we can go into the doshas. So if you kind of know your dosha, you would know between pitta, you want some cooling oils, vata, you want those warming oils, that kind of, movement oils, you want to calm but warm. Pitta, you want to cool and probably calm down as well. And then kapha, you want to kind of get them moving. You want to really, and especially kaphas have that thicker, beautiful, more oily skin to begin with. So you want a really light oil. Kapha is earth and water, and they don't really need any heavy, some of the oils can become actually stagnant on the body of a very kapha dosha, very kapha constitution. And they're cool. So, and sometimes can tend to be overweight or can be just dense. So getting the oils in them, say you want to add essential oils, you want something, say you're feeling stagnant and you're very out of balance right now in a kapha presence, you could use mustard seed oil because that is heating but invigorating without being like, peppery. So there's particular essential oils that we can use per dosha as well. Say you're in a very tense situation, say right now you are going through trauma or hormonal imbalances and things, and you're feeling anxious or worried, you want to probably go to more of the lavenders and even the frankincense, like all of that can come in, rose, things like that, that are very calming. Pitta, if you're aggravated, if you're heated and it's summertime and work or family or, things are all stressful, you could go with the sandalwood or the jasmine or things like that, that are very lavender too, calming for Pitta. Any skin issues, So just side note here, little segue into essential oils. Kevin burned himself a few weeks ago. I don't know if we went through this on the last thing, probably like a 2nd or 3rd degree burn. He was fixing one of his gigantic machines that was running and hot, and he put his arm up and had to like get his in between two parts of it. And he thought the machine, because it was so heavy, was pressing on his arm and like it was hurting his arm. He pulled it off. He had melted his skin, like completely burned his skin, say like on a hot exhaust pipe. Melted it, and he came home and he's like, ooh, what do I do for something like this? I was like, oh, gross. Immediately grabbed out the lavender oil, put the lavender oil on right away, and mixed a tiny bit of coconut oil for the cooling. And I made him do it like twice a day it's been about 3 weeks now. It's almost gone, almost completely gone. And I used Manuka honey after it had really shown progress of like really healing without, and never got infected, never oozed. Never, I mean, it just completely healed with just authentic, like organic lavender oil. And then the coconut
Wow.
oil a little bit, and then the Manuka honey for. So amazing properties of these different oils. So you can incorporate them into your massage, which is usually what I do. So I buy my sesame seed oil in big things, and then I put them in little bottles so that I just have this, and say it's in the wintertime, I warm mine up. Always warm mine because I'm vata. If I was pitta and really hot and fiery, say like in the summertime, I'm probably not going to heat my oil up because I'm vata pitta. So, and then in this size, I normally make up a little, depending on the season, depending on what I need, I'll put my essential oils in for whatever I want for, and then I'll label them. And then this way I know, like maybe one day I want to cool down, or maybe one day I really want to smell something that's going to like light my fire. Or if it's nighttime, it'll definitely have like Young Living's calming, stress away, or lavender or something in it. And you just rub the oils, the massages at night in your feet. It's amazing to rub your feet at night. But to release emotions and trauma like you did, Maureen, and you felt the heat on that one. So if we're feeling that you really don't want to aggravate the body, you want to move it firmly. So our daily massage is going through the motion. So if you're Vata Pitta and say you need grounding, sometimes you can start like in the head and just go from here down your face, then do your arms into the body. But you're working, if you're in a very agitated, aggravated, worried state, something like that, and you need grounding, you want to start from the head up and go down. If you're in a very kapha state, like I was this morning, or like Ashley was the other day, and you're doing massage, you would want to start at the feet, start massaging the feet as we do, start with your toes. You're going to go circular motions around all of the joints, and you're going to go straight on all of the long bones. But when we know that we're having some kind of trauma, say we're doing this specifically, especially Maureen, what you're going through right now, and all, you really want to pull the skin, like you want to, not just like the normal, like moving the oil into the skin. You want to make sure when you go over the muscles, you actually are pulling. And as we do, you ever see like a cat when it needs into, the pillow or something, and it's making its own like little bed, and it's moving that, it's kneading it in the muscles is where we're storing these emotions and these traumas. They're stuck in the tissue of the muscle memory is holding it. So as we go into these muscular parts of your body, you physically can knead the muscles. You don't want it stuck in there. You want to pull it out. So as you're coming up the long muscles of the body, the bones, excuse me, and you feel a muscle and it's something that could hold, it's an actual physical, like say your biceps, say your shoulder, your thighs, your buttocks, somewhere in there, you want to knead that muscle. You want to keep pulling on it for a few minutes. You want to make sure, just like a cat, you can take your fingers or you can take the palm of your hand and push into the skin. You don't want into the muscle, excuse me. You don't want anything to stay in there. And if you just do it for a few minutes, the whole massage can take 5 to 15 minutes. If you happen to have allowed yourself, like you need it, like I would suggest you keep doing this a little bit, Maureen, like a couple times a week, the real release, because you're only going to benefit your health. It's not going to stay in your body. You're going to celebrate at the end of this. So as you get to each muscle, like knead into the muscles, find those muscles, and you want to go. So there's channels in the body. Remember, we're following channels. You don't want to go random. So you don't want to start on your feet and then go to a shoulder. You want to carry the serotas. You want to feel, and they all remember the heart, the emotional connection between the head, the third eye, and the heart. You want to move into the heart. So with this, all those channels of the body, the serotas, picture LA system right now, all of those freeways, they come in and then there's a juncture in the middle where they all come in and release. That's the heart center. So the heart center is where all of these channels and serotas feed into, physically feeling, like thinking, what does your heart do? It pumps the blood back and forth through the system. Your plasma's carried through there. It filters the blood, sends it. So this is the channel. This is the main channel. So you want to bring everything into here. So you want to come up, either down from here, up your arms, and then across and into your stomach, into your heart, up one leg at a time, up into the torso, the next leg up into the torso and the body. And I think I said maybe one back time. It's very important as we get to the abdomen. I think I was joking. So in Ayurveda, as you see someone who has very heavy midsection, and we call our dads had beer bellies. It was kind of funny, but it's not funny, because the fat around our midsection, it's not just around our midsection, it's around each organ as well. So fat doesn't only accumulate in certain areas by chance. It kind of does because it concentrates in an area, but each cell is holding on to fat. So every cell has fat, every cell is connected, every tissue is connected. And instead of being separate and independent organs within our abdomen, someone who has developed really, really big midsection, and especially one, be very concerned if you have a family member, you maybe can help them, that has a very hard, heavy midsection, that's really, really detrimental to your health, because the body, the abdomen becomes an organ. In Ayurveda, they don't say organs anymore. When a body has become that bad, those layers and tissues have hardened, and instead of each organ being free and moving, it hardens, and it's called an organ. They actually almost solidify, they cement, they actually almost become concrete within this hardness. This tissue forms, doesn't calcify, but it hardens. And it's really detrimental to your system. So figure we're learning how to keep everything open and supple, and all of these channels, feeding each other, and that wisdom. Remember, even through detox, each cell is passing wisdom to the next cell. So as we keep it open and flowing like we are in massage, the system is allowing each of its cells to give the next cell its information. It's passing information. And as the body is hardened in all of these spots, if we're holding on to emotional, somewhere holding in trauma, that part of our body is not intentionally giving its intelligence and wisdom to the next part of the body. We've created a block. And within our abdomen, if we have one organ, it's solidified. The movement in everything is really locked and stuck. So within our self massage, and I'm going to stand up here. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm going to show you like how, when you go into the abdomen, when you loosen your body, it's okay to, so as you see, you do on children, you do the I love you, say they're having gas, and you move, up the colon, across the transition, and then down the descending colon as you move up. But when you're doing massage and you come up the one leg up to the other and you get to the torso, you want to move up. You want to pull everything up. So you're going to circular motion on the hip, especially us, if you've had any athletics and running, you're going to massage the hips really, really well. But when you get to the abdomen, you literally can like pull the skin and move, like you physically can move the skin and the organs. Don't be afraid. You're not going to hurt anything. You're not going to puncture. So, I mean, I can get in pretty deep, and you physically can move the organs. That's what you want. You want the organs to be fluid in there. You don't want them to harden. So when I do it in the morning, I actually go in low, and our female organs are down in here. Don't be afraid of them. You're not hurting them. God has made it so perfect that everything's protected. Like we have bone to support us and protect us. And then, so you want to go into the corners. Like if you're having a really, really bad, if you've eaten something and you have a lot of pain down here, the sacrum, which is called that second stomach, it's that turn in that last bit of the small intestine that starts going into the ascending colon. And it can be painful as hell to have gas or food stuck there. And it becomes painful. So people go into the hospital, think they're having appendicitis or something, and little bits of food. So now remember, by that point, the food is into this like slushy kind of smoothie, and it gets caught in here. But if we're not chewing our food, if we're not digesting our food, and we're just like swallowing, let it go, food will get stuck down here in the sacrum. And it's so painful that, again, people get completely backed up in their bowels, but they go to the hospital, they think they're having appendicitis or a heart attack or, something. And I've actually had 3 family members that have had this and been in severe pain back and forth to the hospital. It makes you throw up. I mean, it's, and you have to physically move the food up into, and it's painful to massage it, really painful, but by like the second or third massage, you start to feel release. So you kind of don't want to get to that point. So you want to move the organs. You want to feel that everything is like slushy and it's okay. Like move stuff around. So in the morning, when you have a minute and you're doing your massage, I mean, I really, because I'm Vata, I can get gassy, I can get bloated sometimes. Or so you just do the I love you. You want to do I love, and then a U. It says to do to the kids. So you're moving in that colon, you're moving everything around. So you can be a little aggressive in the abdomen or be very delicate in the beginning. If you feel there's some hardening or something, kind of play with it. It should not be that way. as food could be stuck in the colon or something. So give it a gentle massage, help it move. Like this will really benefit your digestion. So if you have any questions or anything on that, you can send me an email or a text. But that was one that I learned that I was like, oh no, like, aren't I going to hurt something? Can't you push something out of the way? But you can, I think, if you are in a, state of hardness already, but you don't want to get that way. So you want to slowly break that down. You want to move the tissue and begin to make it soft again. And again, all of that tissue could be holding on to emotion. It could be holding on to protect you or to just bury it. Again, we're taught to suppress. We're women. We are taught to bring things in and hold it and carry on. We are, we're the caretakers for everyone. We are supposed to be, we're the go-to, but we need to release. And one way that we can release it is through communication. You need to communicate. You need to have a sense of community and that purpose. You need to have a support group, and you need to have your own ability to release this from your body on a daily basis. And it's really, it becomes a beautiful practice. Like you begin to understand what you're doing rather than just saying, all right, hon, I'm out of here. I'm going to get a massage, like for the, fun of it. This is beautiful. Giving yourself love if you need it, or moving things out of the body. We're keeping things clean. We're keeping things, on that. You want things to interact in the body. So, has anyone come across anything doing this, or any questions on any oils, or any how-tos, or when to be a little aggressive or light or whatever? Anybody come to any roadblocks or anything with it either?
No, Deb, I will tell you that last part when you were talking about, because I have diverticulitis and that happens to me, and I've been doing the massage, not the I love you form, but literally having to massage it out, because one of my doctors had told me years ago, don't get medicine for it. Use your hands
Mm-hmm.
and get your stuff and flush it out. And I was like, oh my God, because you're right, as painful as it can be, the first couple massages, it works.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing. But I have to know that, do the I love you part. That I don't do it in that way. So I'm gonna try that.
Yes, that's a very good one. Especially like, say you ate something,
Mm-hmm.
raw salads or something like that at the wrong time, or something like all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so gassy. Like I was with Miranda last week, and I knew if I ate all those Brussels sprouts, I was going to have gas, and it was going to be like, all right, but she ordered them and they just tasted so good. I literally, like 3 hours later, was in her house, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I went, I'm just going to lay on the ground, and I just laid down, so always like lay down and put your feet up if you're feeling that, and then massage your stomach you want to come up the ascending, across the transverse, and then down the descending, and just gently help move it along. And again, after you feel like your break, I've actually had, wait, we just lost you. We lost you, honey. It sounds like a piano playing.
We lost Ash completely.
Yeah, Ash, we lost you, honey. But yeah, I have actually had food stuck in my ascending where I know either I ate too late, or I ate something really too heavy or too something, and I could physically feel my hands moved like the food up the ascending and helped it across, and you can actually feel like that girdle. It's brilliant. But if we're not told that this can assist us and help us, we don't know to do it. We're not taught to touch our bodies and feel them. We're not taught to move
Right.
things around and keep things clear, that all these systems underneath our skin all can be helped to keep moving. And as we move our body in every way, breath body connection, our physical movement in the morning, moving the skin, the massage. I mean, I love my massage now. My skin was getting so dry, especially this winter. We use the wood burning stove, and it gets so dry, and I just really up the oil and stuff. It's amazing the transformation in my skin. Like I have to use extra oil. Like I could go through a lot of oil, but it benefits. I mean, everything just, the skin begins to get that suppleness back in it, and it brings youthfulness. It actually keeps the skin, youthful. So it's the self massage, in my opinion, is really, really an amazing way to keep your body, it helps you sleep. It helps you digest. It helps you with, weight loss. It helps you balance your entire endocrine system. It flushes out toxins. It brings love into your body. I mean, there's really nothing bad about a self massage. It's pretty much all good. So, so again, if you are more of a Vata, that movement, that dryness, anxiety, worry, fear, things like that, you're going to use sesame seed oil. That's a very good and organic sesame seed oil because it also has calcium in it. It's warming, and it has it actually helps move emotions in the body. So sesame seed oil is really an amazing oil. And I would use with that, depending on the kind of season or what your emotional state is, and a eucalyptus oil, rosemary, clove, camphor, tea tree. Sometimes you need that cleansing. Cardamom, very good for it. Ginger, patchouli I love. That's a very grounding kind of earthy smell. And then pine and balsam in the winter, those are really great for Vata. They bring that earthy grounding into you. It's amazing. You can just smell one of them in the winter and be like, oh, okay. And then mustard seed again, because it's very, very warming. So you can add those essential oils to your oil. Pitta, the hot, fiery, oily skin to begin with. So you want to use a light oil, like a sunflower seed oil, grapeseed oil, or jojoba oil, or olive oil. Those are like the best. Or coconut oil, unless you're feeling super oily, because you know how that coconut oil can really stay on your skin. If you are Pitta, you might want to really use the coconut oil sparingly, but it's cooling. It's very cooling for the body. And then you could use, again, your lavender, rose, or chamomile. You want to cool the body down, especially like their minds and stuff too. You want to calm down a Pitta. And then Kapha, they need a light oil, but sometimes they need a warming oil. So a corn oil or a grape seed oil is very good for Kapha. Mustard seed oil if they need to kind of vamp things up. And eucalyptus, rosemary, and ginger, very good for medicinally for Kaphas. And again, you could make up little tiny bottles like this, take your big carrier oils. And I kind of suggest doing little bottles at a time, because we usually want to change them. So you can even put your carrier oil in here, and then maybe take like all the little bottles of the essential oils, these sizes, all your little tiny ones. You could take them and put them in your palm of your hand, and then add if you don't want to make a big thing, and then take your carrier oil, put it in, and then massage it all over. So that's kind of what I do. But because I do it so often too, sometimes I make them in these with spray bottles, spray tops, and I'll actually spray it a little bit into the palm of my hand and put it. And again, you can smell them. So as you're doing it, if you stop for a minute and you smell, the essential oils go right into your system, into your brain, and they really start adding to the whole experience of the massage. I almost don't miss a day without it. So I literally can go through a 2 to 3 minute massage in the morning, to where I'm just pulling, I know I'm just adding to my detox before I jump in the shower. Or when I need it, I take up to 15 minutes, and I physically put it in like my allotted calendar time in the morning, like in my getting ready for work routine. So depending on what you need. And if you're like right now, Maureen, I would even suggest 5 minutes of moving, because as you oil your feet, that's like the fastest way into the nervous system. So maybe you want to do some lavender oil or something in the feet at night before bed, and actually, get that body to release and calm and kind of, feel this.
We've been doing that.
Right?
Sorry. Yeah.
And it's amazing, isn't it?
I've gotten my husband addicted now. No, I have. I know. He's like,
I was
"Okay,
doing
are you
the
gonna do this
same.
tonight?" Yeah. Sorry.
I was, doing the same for Kevin at night. He was like, oh, my massage. And I would rub his feet. He's like, oh, 2
Oh, I
minutes,
know.
right?
Now they're spoiled. I'm like, okay.
2 minutes on their toes, just get them
Yep.
kind of like going. And you would think we just gave them $1 million,
Exactly.
right? Oh, so in my opinion, self-massage is like, it's the gateway to like a very beautiful, like prolonged health or healing in the immediate, or bringing in and getting out of ancestral, things, as we have no control over that. We are genetic makeups of our past. So it's coming, we have no choice over that. It's coming in our genes, but we do have the choice, as we're learning on our habit evolution, to no longer be that person or be who we've carried from the past into our future. We are letting go of that. We're creating our own future for ourselves and letting go, but we're also cleaning it out physically from our body. So it's this amazing journey of like, we're becoming new people. We're letting go of the past. The past is no longer coming into our future. We're going into the future, and we're aiding that with our self massage, which is just a beautiful self-love that we can give. So any specific questions on any of the like oils or how to apply it, or within our workbooks too, it actually, I think, gives you the physical, like how to apply the oils and a basic couple. And Maria is supposed to, she's working on those worksheets for us of like a little tiny ebook of the essential oils. So hopefully that'll be ready soon for us.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I will tell you, I have 2 of my friends now hooked on the lotions that Miranda gave me, one with the coconut oil and
Yes.
sesame, sunflower seed oil. And this is my 3rd batch I made.
That is
So-
wonderful.
Yeah. And I have to do my face stuff again. So anyway, I'm like starting to spread the message for you in a sense. You have to try this. You have to do
Yes.
that. And yeah.
Yes,
They
you
all
have
love
to.
it.
It's beautiful. I mean, and then you are helping your little circle, whoever your circle is. They see what's happening to you and your transformation, and they want to know
Yep.
what it is.
Yeah. And that's what it was too. And it's funny because then I noticed the difference in them and they're like, oh my God, I'm running out. I'm out. I don't like this other lotion. I'm like, throw that in the garbage. I'll make more. Yeah.
Good. Well,
Yep.
next we need to get them into our little circle. So,
I'm
any
working on that.
referrals or whatever is
Yep.
the beautiful way to continue our help with others.
I think so too.
All right. Next week we have a guest speaker or 2, and it's a really good call next week. So I hope you, I'm going to send it out probably on a Saturday. Well, as soon as I can get to it, I'm going to do this little workup and we'll send it out. And hopefully we'll have, I think we're going to have a few more extra people on the call as well. So that should be a good one. Are you back back from Megan next week?
Yeah, I get in. I was just actually looking at what my flight was. I swear I can't remember one day to the next. I get in like noon, but I'm flying into Austin. So yeah, I'll be home way before the call. I
Okay.
should, weather permitting, be back in San Antonio by 3, I think, on Tuesday.
Okay. Oh God, how exciting. She's moving in.
Girl. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Let's see if we get there tomorrow with these storms.
Oh, I'll say my prayers. Yes, you will.
Please, I've been saying them.
All
But
right.
yeah, so that'll be work. I'm excited.
Oh, how exciting. So where did she find, in what area?